You should be grateful. What if they withdraw the offer? What if you are greedy? The thought drops like a stone in the quiet of the room. Your finger hovers over the accept button. An excellent offer staring back at you. A number that should feel like a victory, but a familiar dread has already settled in. It tells you that this is not the full story. This is the sound of the invisible war. The battlefield is not a boardroom or a Zoom call, but the 6 inches between your ears. It's a battle not with a hiring manager or a budget, but with a version of yourself who has been taught to settle. You are about to trade a lifetime of potential for a moment of relief. You are about to say yes to a number that is not what you're worth because the fear of saying no feels far more real. And that fear is expensive. Consider this. A single preemptive yes to a job offer that is just $5,000 below your market value, with average 3% annual raises, cost you more than $634,000 over a 40-year career. This is a staggering number, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. The real cost is immeasurable. It's the slow, quiet death of a self that could have been. Is the reinforcing belief that you are not worth fighting for. Every time you don't advocate for yourself, you teach yourself that your worth is determined by someone else's initial offer, not by the value you create. This is not another guide filled with power poses and scripted responses. It's a deep dive into the internal warfare that happens before you ever enter a negotiation room. It's about understanding why intelligent, capable people consistently undervalue themselves and what it takes to break that pattern. This is an excavation of the internal landscape that make those strategies feel impossible in the first place. This is for the brilliant, capable soul who frees up when it's time to talk about money, because they know on some level they are not just negotiating a salary, they are negotiating their own self-worth.
Life Upgrade Podcast.
Part 1. The ghost in the machine. We've been fed a lie that negotiation is a skill separate from who we are. The truth, it's a direct reflection of our relationship with us. When we stand on the principle of a high-stake conversation, it floods your system with cortisol, shut down the rational prefrontal cortex and scream, "Get to safety." Just accept the offer. Don't rock the boat. This isn't a character flaw, it's biology. And because it's biology, we have to stop trying to force our way through it. Instead, we have to learn to work with it. The problem isn't that you are not a good negotiator, it is that you are fighting your own nervous system instead of befriending it. Our self-doubt is a tangled mess of inherited beliefs and personal experience. It manifests in 3 crucial ways during negotiation. Number 1, the mind games, cognitive distortions. Your brain becomes a master storyteller, inventing narratives that aren't true. You minimize your achievements. Anyone could have done this. And you engage in a full-blown mind reading. They must think I'm already overpaid. These aren't random thoughts. They are the well-woven grooves of fear. For example, you might look at a list of job requirements you don't perfectly match and convince yourself you are not qualified, completely ignoring the 5 other requirements you exceed. This is a form of all or nothing thinking, where you assume a request for more money will result in a total loss of opportunity, when in reality is a standard expected part of a hiring process. Number 2, the body's betrayal, emotional dysregulation. Your heart pounds, your palm sweats, your voice catches in your throat. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's your body legitimately attempts to keep you safe from a perceived threat. When the physical discomfort is real, settling feels like the only viable escape route. You might feel a surge of shame or guilt just for considering a counteroffer. This is the limbic system, the emotional core of your brain overriding your logic. It's an ancient survival instinct misfiring in a modern context, treating a salary discussion with the same urgency as a life or death situation. If you're enjoying this video, I'd love you to hit the subscribe button. You'll get more value when you subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. The escape plan: behavioral avoidance. Instead of facing the conversation, you find a million ways to avoid it. You procrastinate, you research until you're paralyzed by data. You preemptively settle before the conversation can even begin, trading your long-term well-being for a short-term relief. This isn't laziness, it's an active act of self-sabotage, a desperate attempt to protect yourself from the imagined pain of rejection. This is the internal anatomy of self-betrayal, and until we understand it, every negotiation tactic in the world is just a band-aid on a bullet wound. But this anatomy is not self-created, it is learned. We are not born with a fear of negotiation. It is a learned behavior, an operating system installed by our upbringing, our culture, and our society. For generations, messages like "don't be greedy, be grateful for what you have, don't rock the boat" have been whispered into our subconscious. These messages becomes internal operating system that activate during high-stakes moments. Women in particular face a unique and cruel double standard. Research from Harvard Business School shows that when women negotiate for themselves, they are often perceived as aggressive or demanding, a perception that doesn't exist when they advocate on behalf of others. This creates what a psychologist calls a subconscious trade-off that costs her dearly. Men face different but equally limiting beliefs, particularly around vulnerability. The cultural message that real men don't ask for help translates into real professionals don't need to negotiate, as if asking for a fair compensation implies you weren't good enough to earn it automatically. The pressure to appear effortlessly competent can make the very act of a salary discussion feel like an admission of weakness. We typically talk about the financial cost of not negotiating, and it's a brutal reality. That one-time $5,000 difference early in your career with an average raises balloons into $634,000 chasm over 40 years. It's a number that should make us furious. But the psychological cost is far more insidious. Every time we accept less than we are worth, we are quietly, methodically teaching ourselves a terrible lesson. I am not worth fighting for. This is how learned helplessness take hold. Consider the compounding effects in psychological terms. Each time you settle, you strengthen the neural pathway of self-doubt. The next time a similar situation arises, it will be even harder to challenge that voice. You are literally wiring your brain to see yourself as less valuable, less capable, and less deserving. This belief system extends far beyond compensation. It affects your ability to ask for a promotion, to speak up in a meeting, to set boundaries in your relationship, and to pursue opportunities that feel out of your league. The good news is that this belief system is a story, and like all stories, it can be rewritten. Before we ask for more, we have to give ourselves permission to want it. We have to challenge the core narrative that have held us captive. The first step is to redefine what negotiation actually is. It is not a fight, it's a collaborative business discussion. You have a problem, you need fair compensation, and the company has a problem, they need your unique skills. You are not there to make demands, you are there to solve a puzzle together. This reframing is everything. It shifts you from a position of begging to a position of partnership. It reminds you that this isn't about your greed, it's about their need. The second and perhaps most liberating insight is this: action precedes confidence. We have it backward. We wait to feel confident before we act, but the truth is, genuine confidence is a side effect of taking action. It's the reward you get for moving forward despite the fear. It's a muscle that gets stronger with use. Each time you advocate for yourself, your brain creates new neural pathways. It learns, oh, this feels uncomfortable, but I survived and I got what I need. Over time, the anxiety shrinks and the belief that you are a person who stands up for yourself grows. Let's look at a few stories of people who did the work, fought the ghost and rewrote their narrative. Marcus, the developer who rewired his thinking. Marcus has been an underpaid software developer for 3 years, his salary stagnant at $75,000. While his skills grew exponentially, when a Fortune 500 company offered him $95,000, his immediate reaction was a wave of relief, so intense it felt like a physical release. It was $20,000 jump, a life-changing amount, but a quick search on Glassdoor and a few conversations with peers revealed that similar roles were paying about $115,000 to $125,000. The self-doubt was instant and crushing. Maybe I'm not really senior level, the voice whispered. This is already a huge jump, don't push it. Instead of trusting that voice, Marcus did something he rarely did. He called his mentor, Sarah, a seasoned tech executive. He laid out the situation, his voice tight with anxiety. Sarah listened patiently and then asked a single piercing question. If your friend came to you with this situation, what would you tell them? The answer was immediate, obvious, and felt like a slap in the face. He would tell his friend to negotiate. The distance between the advice he would give a friend and the permission he gave himself was the entire gap of his self-doubt. Marcus took a deep breath. He crafted a professional, value-based response, citing his specific contribution and the industry average. He requested $118,000. The company countered at $112,000 and he accepted without a second thought. He earned an extra $17,000 by just stepping outside his own perspective. The financial gain was significant, but the real victory was he proved the silence of that anxious voice. He proved to himself that he was indeed worth the fight. We're going to be ending this video here because I believe we have already said a lot of stuff in this video. If you want to get the full video, the full package, you want to get the full 5 parts of this video, it's on Patreon or on my paid private podcast, which is also linked to Patreon. So the link will be in the description of this video or this episode. Just click it, go over to Patreon. You can become a member or buy this single post if you need it. Also, our Patreon hold valuable information. We have articles, we have ebooks, we have podcasts, we have videos, things that will help you improve your life, to grow, to become better, and to challenge your limits. You don't want to miss this. If you have any question through my Patreon, you can join my Discord community called the Fulfillment Coterie, or the link will also be in the description of this video or this episode. Just hit the button, go over to our Discord channel. Let's have a conversation about this topic. Let's share our experience. Or you can also leave your comments in the comment section if you want to ask a direct question for quick response. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on Patreon, where we'll continue this discussion.